What's going on, everybody? This is going to be a little bit of a painful show. Yeah, old Jay's having some technical difficulties. My camera literally went out right before we started the show. So I'm having to use my desktop for audio and my phone for video. And we're just going to power through it. We're going to make the best of it. Anyways.
You know what? Like it's like the old, when we used to play baseball as kids, man. We got a ghost runner on first.
Yep,
so
ghost runner on first. So don't mind that flexing going on the bottom there. But anyways, I'm SAJ, Loudmouth of the South. You guys know me. I'm coming to you live today from Polyester's nightclub, downtown Riverwalk. Some of the funnest times that I can never talk about there.
What's up, everybody? I'm BD. Today, I'm going to be coming at you from Crazy Cat Guitars on North St. Mary's.
Nice. Good choice.
That was a fun place to go shop at.
It definitely was. So we've got a pretty good amount of stuff to talk about tonight, some things to update everybody on and share a little bit more details with and everything. But I think the first thing that we probably should talk about tonight, and let me put myself a little bit more center screen there. We probably ought to come there to talk about this upcoming minor league scrimmage game happening on Sunday or something. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, something about like I don't know, like a big soup bowl or something. I don't know.
I thought they said something about a supper bowl. I wasn't sure.
Maybe it's like that the super salad, maybe something like that.
Super salad. That's one that we should put back on the list. No, that's one we should just bring back, dude. I love that place. So yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers are going to be locking horns this weekend in Super Bowl 5812 or whatever it is. And I gotta say, like, I'm super excited that this is the culmination of the season, but I'm not super excited about this game, man. I mean, what are your thoughts, Brian? What are you thinking? What's going on here?
It's the Super Bowl, and so there's I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna I hope it's a good game. I mean, and it comes with everything. I want to see some cool commercials. I want to see a halftime show that doesn't suck. And I want to see a good game. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, really, I want my numbers to hit more than anything. So yeah, that's really why I'm going to be paying attention to it.
Well, I mean, everybody's got to have a hobby, right? So
yeah, I mean, who are you rooting for anybody or I mean, are you wanting to see anything or are you just kind of whatever?
Honestly, man, I'm kind of just whatever. Like, I'm hoping, that it's a decent game. But both teams can't lose, right? You can't have Brock Purdy have an incredible game and Patrick Mahomes have an incredible game and both teams lose. Like, it's one of those where you're just like, it's two high-powered offenses locking horns. The defenses are both
probably going to be like a freaking 13-10 game.
Yeah,
that's usually how that works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that both defenses are going to be stepping it up and really doing everything they can to lock down these two quarterbacks. And I don't see that it's going to be an exciting game, And there's not much to really be excited about here. So
yeah. As far as like rooting interest for myself, I know, kind of earlier in the season, we talked a lot about, the Travis Kelce's girlfriend and, as much they would show her often and just kind of how annoyed I was at that. I will say this. I would rather see Taylor Swift after every single play than I would the 49ers hold up another championship trophy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't really care,
I do though. I do care, and that comes back to the old, 90s, bitter rivalry of Cowboys and 49ers. And, as much crap as people like to give Cowboys for, not having won a Super Bowl since 96. Last time the 49ers won a Super Bowl was even later than that. So I'd like to keep that train rolling.
Yeah. That part, I mean, I know, I get what you're saying. What I'm talking about is the whole Taylor Swift involvement thing. Like some people are saying, oh, this is, greatest thing to happen to football, bring in new life, new energy, new fans, blah, blah, blah. Other people are like, there's no place for any of this. And it's sports. And, you don't mix sports and entertainment. I mean, you do, but I don't care. I don't care that Taylor Swift is there. I don't care if Michael Jackson was dating one of the players. Like, it might be a little bit awkward because, he's been deceased for 20 something years.
But you can't deny what it's done to increase the viewership of the sport. I mean, as much as it annoys me to see her celebrating every single play, every time Travis catches the ball, like, I get why they do it because it's bringing more people into the sport. I got a friend of mine, or kind of a work colleague, and he works in another office. I see him for every couple of events that we have throughout the year. Well, I saw him. I was up in Dallas a few weeks ago for a conference, and we were all out to dinner and we were talking. And the guy's a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, and his wife never had any kind of interest in football at all. And he said he came home one day in the middle of the season and she was wearing a Chiefs shirt. He's like, what the hell is this? He's like, it's Taylor Swift, isn't it? And she was like, well, So, I mean, it's bringing more viewers. So, whatever's going on with that, whatever they want, it's working for them.
Yeah. So I think we need Taylor Swift to break up with Mr. Kelsey after the season and then start dating one of the UFL players. Put some eyes on the game that way.
Oh.
So, what's up, Brian?
What is up, Brian? New Papa, how are you doing, man?
Congrats on the new edition, the new Fighting
Absolutely.
Brahma baby. So, yeah, I mean, again, for a publicity stunt, that would be great. Like, if that's what the objective was, then they've definitely achieved their objective. Again, I don't really care, right? Because at some point in time, chances are the relationship isn't going to last forever. And then what? All those Taylor Swift fans are just going to go away, and then there's going to be a drop in attendance again in NFL. And it's really only something that's affecting one team.
Yeah, and I mean, really, honestly, they show her for like 5 seconds, whenever Kelsey makes a catch. I mean, really, if you're watching a 3-hour game, you're maybe talking, 2-3 minutes of airtime. It's pretty negligible. So even me talking crap about it, like I'm kind of just messing around too. So like, it's really not an impact of the game for anybody to, I'm not going to watch the game because they keep showing her. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm excited for hopefully some good football this weekend. I'm excited for some really cool commercials, right? Super Bowl halftime commercials usually don't often fail to disappoint. There have been a couple. But for the most part, they've all been pretty solid. And then, what
I want for the commercials though? I'm sick of the sappy commercials. Like, I don't want you like tugging at heartstrings and get all like try to get all sad and stuff. Give me the funny ones.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I miss that. Like, I miss the Puppy Bowl. Not that it's not still on. It's just, nobody really watches it anymore. I was excited about I believe it was the Toy Story Disney feed last year. This year it's going to be SpongeBob. I'm not so sure about the SpongeBob part, but I mean, I like the fact that they're trying to do other things to, bring people into the fold. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But the team,
they did the Toy Story one for that London game earlier this season. And I don't know, are they doing is it a SpongeBob theme, or are they just doing like the Nickelodeon thing? And I know they said they're gonna play Sweet Victory during the game because that whole SpongeBob episode. But like I said, they had their chance to do that 5 years ago, and they teased it and said they were gonna kind of do something with it, and they totally screwed everybody out of it. So they had their chance. So
yeah, I guess he's announcing the Super Bowl or something. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad that they're trying to do things to mix it up and bring in, new audiences and freshen up, a game for a different generation. But and it is what it is.
Oh, we'll see.
Look
at this. I'm excited about that.
That is 100% true.
I you know what, I don't like to be spoiled on the commercials. I know that they release a lot of them, but I'd stay away from that. So I didn't even know they were going to be playing the Deadpool trailer during the Super Bowl. So
well, now we got something to look forward to.
Exactly. That's the reason for watching right there.
Yep. Okay. So speaking of things, not to really care about, there have been some coaching moves that some people here probably don't care about too much or don't care for. Probably be a better way to put that, right?
Yeah, I would say don't care for.
Okay. Who's got you all knotted up, Brian?
Well, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard by now. Dan Quinn, the great, amazing defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, went to go coach the freaking Commanders. Are they still the Commanders? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right now they still are.
Yeah. But yeah, he went to go coach, be the head coach of them. So, one, we lost probably the best coach we had on the staff, and we still got freaking McCarthy, which I kind of wish. Well, I wish Jerry would have fired McCarthy anyways, but I think Dan Quinn would have been a good replacement for him, and we could have kept him, got him his head coach gig, and got rid of a terrible coach. But that didn't happen, so I'm pissed at Jerry, and I'm not pissed at Quinn because hey, it was a head coaching move. He obviously that's something he wanted. So hey, I hope he does okay. Not too well because he is our division rivals. So, But hey, maybe next year after McCarthy doesn't get renewed and actually gets shown the door, Quinn can come back as the head coach.
Just depends on the contract that he signs, right?
Yeah. And then, well, as far as replacing him, they're talking to Ron Rivera. So basically, Washington and Cowboys are just going to switch coaches potentially. I just, whatever they do for the DC, they need to keep Al Harris on the staff because that guy was absolutely, monumental in the production of the secondary of the, his part of the defense. So I don't care who the DC is. They need to keep him on staff.
Yep. Yeah, we've talked about that before. Al Harris is one of our more notable defensive players of the Green Bay Packers. And I was glad to see him. As much as it stings to see him playing, helping out the Cowboys, I was glad to see him land with McCarthy again and, get a little bit of that familiarity going. It showed in last year's defense how good you guys were, just that familiarity, just that wealth of knowledge rather that Harris has. Yeah. So hopefully they keep him around and you guys will have a strong defense this next year.
Yeah. So I know you showed it earlier while I was talking. I didn't get to see XFL Mike G's full comment, so I'm going to show it again.
I beat you.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on the Moore as the OC because he was absolutely terrible, and I was so happy when he left to go to the Chargers.
Yeah. I don't disagree. So speaking of, we've got Florida Brian in the audience here. Speaking of people who should be pissed off as well, Um, the Dolphins picked up the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator, and I've got to say, I mean, Miami didn't have necessarily a horrible defense. Pretty sure they will this next year now.
I mean, did they see what he did?
Apparently not. So
I mean, maybe they just watched the playoff game and thought that he was, a really good defensive coach. And, like, well, I don't know why Green Bay let him go. We should probably pick him up.
Well,
did y'all watch the game? Did y'all watch the games for the season? No, we don't need to. Look at this one game played against the Cowboys. That's all we need to see.
Yeah. So in that line of thought, right? It could, very easily be that with the injuries and, problems with, personnel, things like that, that maybe, what the hell is his name? I can't even remember.
Talking about
Joe Barry.
Joe Barry, your old DC.
Yep. It could be that maybe Joe Barry isn't as bad as what we thought, because the last couple of weeks, especially after Thanksgiving, Green Bay all of a sudden had a defense, and that can't just be because of the players, right? So maybe there's just a problem with the defensive schemes that he's running or that he's trying to run, and then the personnel that he has. And maybe he'll actually see some success over in Miami. It's going to be, that's a good question to ponder and just kind of see where things wind up. Now, if he's Joe Barry from the first 6 weeks, then Dolphins are toast. If he's Joe Barry of the last 4, then I would say that they have a really good chance of having a really strong defense. But only time is going to tell, right? He's going to have to work with the personnel that are there, maybe pick up, 1 or 2 free agents and see how they do in the draft. But that's kind of where it's going to wind up, So, again, it'll be interesting to see how things kind of break down with that. I know we'd already talked about Harbaugh to the Chargers. I don't know if we talked about it or not. Everybody should know this by now, but Pete Carroll is essentially out as head coach with Seattle, and Mike McDonald is in, but Pete Carroll is still on staff as an advisor. And I'm wondering if it didn't because of that huge contract that he had. And they're like, well, we're going to pay you anyways, so guess who's on trash detail this week? No real other notable, coaching changes other than the Dan Quinn situation.
Kind of, I don't know about notable, but funny to me was Cliff Kingsbury agreeing to being OC for the Raiders and then saying, nah, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to go over here and join Dan Quinn with the Commanders.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Well, then, of course, Harbaugh, stacking his staff with people that he knows too,
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's how a good coach gets it done, right?
Exactly.
Good staff. So, okay. So that pretty much covers that. Let's talk about San Antonio Brahmas.
That's right. We got our schedule released yesterday.
Yep.
So
everybody got their schedule released. Some of these games are going to be some really good games. It looks like our first opponent is going to be DC Defenders at home on a Sunday at 11 Central.
On the 31st, Sunday, March 31st.
Yes. So that's going to be a revenge game for us, right? Because it was DC that killed us in the very last week on our playoff hopes. I have to believe that team could have carried on. I know we could have beaten Arlington. Pretty sure we would have had a good chance, against Houston and maybe even made it into the championship game against DC.
Yeah.
But we were a little wide left.
Yeah. It's all right.
So
we'll worry about it this season.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll get it back this season. We definitely talked about destroying last week, joining the team. I still hold my position on that as much fun as that is, having him, kind of involved with the team and what that's going to mean as far as viewership and everything. I think the jury's still out, right? We still have to wait and see and find out if he actually can kick in a live game, right? If he has that kind of caliber of play inside of him. And I don't want to see fans getting super excited, that this, YouTube sensation is going to be on our team, and then he can't kick because he's not used to 300-pound linemen, breathing in his face. So again, I think, let's hold our enthusiasm until we see the cat actually kick in a game.
And we're talking about it last night on the Horns Forward podcast. There's 2 other kickers in the room for training camp. The best one's going to make the roster. So,
Yep. I think speaking of people in the rosters, we all know that I like Nick Holley. Nick Holley was spunky, fast little wide receiver. He has decided not to come back to the UFL, to the San Antonio Brahmas. And so I wish him the best of luck. I hope, he's got something lined up. I know there's a lot of players. We talked about this. I believe we shared it to our page. We didn't talk about it, but we definitely shared it to our page that there's a lot of players that are kind of upset with the UFL because of these new contracts that they're signing, that they basically aren't even going to be making, enough money to kind of survive. Unless they do like roommates or something like that, right? $1,600 a month is not that much money to kind of live on. But that's their per diem, dude. Like, figure it out. You can get a 1-bedroom for like $900. It's fine. Or, you double up with somebody, you get a 2-bedroom and you pay what, $1,200. That's $600. And then, the rest of that 1,000 is yours. So, I get that and everything. But that has put a hamper on some of the players coming back. Like, we already know Borgie decided to, take his chances elsewhere. We're not sure where he's going or anything. Some indicators are pointing kind of north for his career. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Maybe the same thing is going to happen with Holley. Who knows? Who knows? But there's going to be some of that struggle that we're going to run into, that some players are going to decide to go elsewhere because they're not making, nearly what they think they're worth, or maybe they've realized that, hey man, this is pretty much going to be the pinnacle of my career, so I need to make as much money as I can while I'm doing this. So let's see what happens. But anyways, looking at the schedule, obviously our first game is a home game, and then we've got an away game, and then back home for 2, and then we hit the road for 3, back home for 2, and then our final game is going to be on the road against St. Louis. Now, Brian, you and I have stirred the pot. We have poked the bear. We have done a lot of things. Who do you think is going to be our biggest rival this season? Did you hear the question, Brian?
I did not. I lost you for a second there.
Okay, I apologize. What I was saying was, you and I have stirred up a lot of trouble with all these teams, except for like 3, right? Who do you think is going to be our biggest rival this season?
I still think it's going to be kind of St. Louis, just because, now we've got the we're going to be playing them twice. They're here and there. But from the I guess the Roughnecks on the USFL side, just because it is Houston and San Antonio and just the Texas rivalry. I don't really care about the ponies, the tugboats, or the little putty tats. So
yeah, I don't disagree with you. Some people will argue that the Stallions are going to be the team to beat this year, and that Arlington is the team to beat from the XFL. But I think people are selling San Antonio short, and then I like that. I like us being the underdog because I think we do better when we're counted out of the fight. That's what happened, that the last like 4 games of San Antonio season, we were already counted out and we just kept fighting and kept winning and kept winning. So count us out, us down. We'll keep
kudos to Arlington for winning the games that they had, that they played and winning the championship. You can't take that away, but they need to remember they were this far away from missing the playoffs.
Yep.
So, I mean, they lucked into a playoff spot by having the best kicker in the league last year, miss, for whatever reason. So, I mean, like I said, credit to them for winning the games, but they lucked into that playoff spot.
They certainly did. And I know, there's been some discussion in the different camps, if you will, about, whose division is better, the USFL versus the XFL. I know from some of the things that I've seen, and I'm not putting this all on the USFL fans because I don't know who started it. I do know the USFL fans are claiming that their product is better. It always has been. They have more talent, more, everything. The only thing they're really looking forward to is the Under Armour gear that they're going to be getting from, the XFL side of the equation. I would argue that the numbers speak for themselves, that we've had more XFL players be in some kind of role in the NFL than what the USFL has the last 2 seasons. But I think we just need to leave it to the field. And
I mean,
comes victorious.
I wouldn't even go with NFL players. What was the TV viewership? XFL won that with the USFL having a much better TV partner than the XFL did. How about attendance? Well, there was no contest there. So obviously the fans who all had opportunities to go to the 4 or 5 USFL hubs, they didn't want to go to those games because, we watched some of those games and we know why nobody wanted to go to them.
Yeah.
XFL games had fans in them. So, let's let the play on the field do its talking. And it did last year. And I think it'll continue to do it this year.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't disagree with you at all. I think that, overall XFL had a much better product. I think the rules were better for fan engagement, but from a business standpoint, I have to say that I think the USFL rules are probably the better rules to follow here, just simply because they're going to be closer to NFL rules. There's very little that's different between the USFL and the NFL versus XFL, which has some pretty radical rules that are a little bit different, right?
No.
But I do think overall that, the XFL is probably going to dominate, right? And I think it's pretty much going to be XFL show. Now, going with what Mike G is saying here, 3 XFL teams make the playoffs. That could potentially be,
So if that was to happen, that would mean that the league, the UFL, is going to change the rules that both the XFL and the USFL had for playoff seeding, because it was originally top 2 teams out of each conference make the playoffs. Obviously, we know what happened to the Battle Chickens, missing out on the playoffs, and then Arlington getting in, and them saying how that was unfair. So that rule might change. I don't know. I know they. It is rumored that it was going to be. I think the St. Louis coach mentioned that, but I don't think that's been confirmed yet. What do you think about that rule? Like the rule change going, conference winners and then next best 2 versus top 2 in each conference.
I mean, I kind of like it. I'm going to be honest, man. If your team isn't strong enough to carry a division, or beat your neighbor across the street, sorry, you don't deserve to be there. You know, if you've got a 4-6 record and they're, you know, you're second place in your division, and there's two other teams across the way that have 5-5, how it, you know, how is it justifiable that these two 5-5 teams who are arguably better don't deserve to make it in the playoffs just because you're the number 2 seed in your conference? You know what I mean?
Well, but also I look at it like this. You know, the conferences, you know, like the XFL conference, we're all going to play the same schedule.
Yeah.
The USFL conference is all going to play the same schedule. So it's an equal, you know, sample size. So the records of that conference are comparable to how good that team is in that conference. So if you're it's kind of your the measuring stick is the same for each conference. So if you're going, hey, just best across the board, well, you know, the other conference might suck, and you've got an inflated better record than this one conference who is, you know, maybe all the teams are on equal footing, and so they're just kind of beating each other. So you might have a worse team that ends up having a better record because the conference isn't as good.
I could see that. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still go back to record, right? There are going to be some instances where a team does kind of sneak through because they were just playing weaker opponents, right? And so their record is just going to look better. It's going to be overinflated, right? But for the most part, most of those teams have earned those wins, and I think it provides for better football for the fans that way. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with all of that. I do agree. I think St. Louis is probably going to wind up being our biggest rivalry. I hope, right? Love us some St. Louis fans. But we've been stirring this pot for a year. Okay. What Predator couple saying here? Yeah, we are. That, I mean, there was a little bit of that, right? Again, I really don't think that Arlington was the best team in that playoff game, right? Or in that championship game. I really think, man, if Parker Romo would have dropped that kick, it would have been a whole different story.
Yeah. And we all know DC versus Arlington last year. DC wins that game probably 9 times out of 10. You know what? But once again, kudos to Arlington for winning it, you know, the 1 time out of 10 that they probably would have. I mean, they did what they had to do. Bottom line, they did what they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
For, you know, lucky shot in the playoffs, you know, whatever. They did what they had to do.
They did what they had to do when it mattered. And then they're still not the better team. I don't care. So, I mean, heck, Green Bay did that in Super Bowl 31 when they lost to Denver, right? Had that game won, decided to go easy, let Elway kind of take the game, and then they wound up winning another like Super Bowl after that. You know, we should have just buried them and just left it at that, but we didn't. So, anyways, I'll get off my Packers, you know, soapbox here. So yeah, I'm super excited about all of this stuff. I do believe that so we know that Arlington is going to be playing Birmingham for the season opener. And
Hokies versus the Ponies.
Yep. And there's going to be a lot of us that are going to be going up to that game because it is on a Saturday and then our game is on a Sunday. So we're definitely going to try and be going live from some of the tailgating events and trying to engage with some of the fans. I am hoping that some of the Birmingham fans actually do show up for this game because we definitely want to talk to them and start, you know, our frenemyship with them, if you will. And just, you know, start getting to know them as a fan base because again, I mean, it was a little bit different of a game. And they were one of the only teams that actually had fans in the stands. So now's the perfect time to start getting to know some of these folks, like Brett Tierce, in fact. we've talked to him a number of times now, but we haven't actually gotten to meet him and talk to him in person. So hopefully maybe he can be there. Some of his other partners and stuff can be there. And maybe just like I said, start that whole frenemy ship. But
I was really looking forward to going to that game, and then we were talking earlier today. I just found out that I've got a work trip that I'm coming back from that day, so I was thinking it was a week or two before that, so I'm gonna have to miss that game. But
yes, well, I'm definitely going to be there. Right, I'll be getting loud and rowdy for us, and it's going to be fun to be able to go to a game and just boo everybody. I don't think I've been able to do that. So
I was looking forward to going there and talking crap to both teams, man. Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah. That way I
mean, I'll be coming back from Vegas, so I'm not like too terribly upset. But I really wanted to go to the game.
I mean, Vegas home opener game.
Well, I say I won't be too terribly upset. We'll see how I do. But
very true. You could be extremely upset.
I might be real upset coming back
and shoeless. So
possibly.
Okay, what else we got on the docket today, Brian?
Oh man, what else was there?
Well, I can't.
Oh, you know what? There was the fan event that was just announced today.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about the fan event. So
yeah, here I've actually got it. I can pull it up. Let me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to because I'm extremely disabled here. So
yeah. So yeah. There, you see that?
Yep.
So yeah, so it's February 18th at the Dome, from 2 to 4. If you go to the Brahmas Facebook page, and we'll post it on ours as well. There's actually a link for a registration form that you can fill out to get your name on the list. So, Wade Phillips and Daryl Johnson will both be there. I said absolutely free to the public, free parking, panel discussion about the UFL and the upcoming season, and some kids activities. So you can bring the kids.
Nice. So Brahma Babe can't hear us, and that's fine. But she's here and in the audience. Of course, you got Jeremy Garcia with his Easter Bunny comment. I don't even know where this is coming from, man. There's not going to be any Easter Bunny. I'm not dressing up as anything other than just me, right? I may sneak in some cascarones and throw them at people, but it'll be good. It'll be good. Predator Couples trying to plug their meet and greet on our show. That's appropriate because we are Texans talking football, so we'll allow that one to come through. So yeah, if you guys are in the area, right, go check out the Houston meet and greet, right? And you'll get to see your new home, Rice Stadium, which should be phenomenal. Okay, I've seen the pictures. It's not going to necessarily be as cool as TDECU, but it's still going to be a great facility, and it's got a lot of history there. So it should be a wonderful, wonderful place to watch some football and tailgate, and have some really incredible times with the Predator Couple and Rig Rocker and all of other Houston friends over there.
So here, let me do one. Brian over here, asking if we could show the first Brahma baby of the year. So I've got that over here as well. Give me 1 second. We've got a proud papa. So
we do.
So right here is, and apologize if I'm saying this wrong, but Mahala, beautiful baby, and the first Brahma baby of the year. So congrats, Brian.
Congrats, my friend. Horns forward.
Yep.
Let's go. So,
congrats, Brian and Nicole. I mean, who did all the work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Brian had very little to do with all that. So, take that comment for how you want to see it. I'm just saying. But yeah. And Brahma Babe, no, I'm not going to be the Easter Bunny. It's not happening. I'm not doing any of that stuff. No. So,
Coward.
yeah, heck yeah, man. I ain't dressing up in no stupid Easter Bunny costume. It's insane, man. Come on now. Brian can dress up as Easter Bunny. He can go to the game, right? With his baby in a basket or something like that.
There you go.
What else we got? I do know that, as NFL is winding down and, arena ball is basically right around the corner. We've only got another weekend or two, and then the season start. Our season does not start, if I remember correctly. Hang on, IFL schedule 2020.
So I think their season starts I think the 14th, and then we're playing. Our first game is like 2 weeks later.
And who knows? I mean, there could be some stuff going on with the rodeo, which is why they started a little bit later.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit weird that San Antonio's first game isn't until that third week. Well, it'd be March 30th, right? So our opening weekend is their opening weekend. And that's okay. In fact, there's actually only 4 teams that are starting the week of the 16th. And it looks like the season really technically starts on the 23rd.
Week 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got 2 games that first week, and then you've got 6 games? Yeah, 6 games week 2. And then there's a couple teams with bye weeks that first week, and then you've got all of them going, or kind of all kick into gear on week 3. It is kind of a weird schedule. I've never heard of a team having a bye week, the first week of the season.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's weird stuff. You got to love the IFL, right? So,
yeah.
So Kenneth right here said he said that he's going to miss the Brahmas Rubbernecks games, but he's thankful for the other 3 home games that he's going to be able to make, and that's awesome. Yeah, we're looking forward to you being able to go and hit those games over in Rice Stadium. Nice, beautiful facility. And it is a kind of a bummer because we should be there for that one and get the crew together and have a good time. Yeah. So
I think that's the one I might have to miss as well, though. That's my anniversary weekend. So
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry.
No. Is it? I don't remember. I have to look at the schedule again.
But. Well, I've got the schedule right here. You said your anniversary's May 4th, right?
Yep. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. So May 5th, we're going to be playing DC in DC. So
okay, so that's the one.
That's the one you're going to miss. Right.
Yeah. So.
But that's fine. We'll figure it all out as it rolls along. But again, we've got IFL right around the corner, and Brahma Babe said something about the Guppies or something like that. Jacksonville Guppies. I don't remember.
Yeah. The team that's so scared they don't even want to play us this season. So
yeah, I know. So going back to that, I think again, we talked about it last week. I really think the Arizona teams are going to be the ones that we really are going to have to watch out for. You know what I mean? I really think, especially with as strong as they finished last year and some of the additions that they've made, arguably they're going to be some of the tougher teams that we're going to have to worry about. Mike G says guns up, and then
you got to say it like your boy Jay.
No, I'm not saying it, dude. I'm not saying it.
Come on, you got to say it. You got to say it. You got to say it.
No, and then Brahma Babe put, what is that? A tuna fish?
Little minnows? What is that?
I can't tell. It almost looks like a dolphin with lipstick on it. So, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting season, man. I mean, I know it's not the same game as regular, football like the UFL or NFL or even CFL. But the thing I like is that these cats are really hungry. They're really trying to use this opportunity to sharpen their game to get to the next level. And I like the fact that the IFL still has that contract that I know of anyways with the XFL, probably the UFL, to be feeding talent into, this next round of players. Now, speaking of, round of players, right? We did lose one Nick Holly, but there's another individual that probably could take his place and do just fine. And that would be a young man by the name of Caleb Samuel. So if anybody from the coaching staff is watching, right, if you're looking for a wide receiver, look that young man up, see what he can do.
Looking for a wide receiver that can outrun any secondary player that the other team has, because holy hell, that guy's fast.
Mm-hmm. This cat was insane at the combine. Yeah. So again, if you're looking for somebody that's got the speed and got that has the hands, look this guy up.
I know we got a pretty big receiver room already, but definitely should get that guy in, give him a shot, man. Because like I said, he'll blow your doors off.
Yep. And Brahma Babe made a comment about arena indoor football being in your face and just high paced, right? If you're looking for something where you're going to see, I mean, if you're an offensive guy and you love high powered offenses, then you're going to love arena football. If you haven't checked it out, go check out a game. What do we got right here? Oh yeah, AFL. Yeah.
Yep.
I think you're really going to like that. The arena ball is just, it's a lot of fun. Again, if you like, fast paced, high powered offenses, this is the game for you.
Yeah, obviously don't expect NFL style football, UFL style football. It's not that. It is very fast paced, just go down the field. So, I mean, it's a fun game to watch.
Yep. It's all mainly passing, but we've seen our fair share of running backs break off huge plays, so it's fun and it's family friendly as far as the budget, right? You can get tickets as cheap as, like, I want to say the Gunslingers doing tickets like $5-10 a person. And they're really in a bad seat in the house at the Freeman. So pardon me. I'm still getting over a little something from last week, so I apologize. I sound a little raspy and gross today. What else we got, Brian? I think that,
man, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think pretty much biggest takeaways, right, is the Super Bowl. We're more excited for the commercials in the game, but we hope for a great game. The season is right around the corner for UFL. Like, who can't be excited about that, right? Oh yeah, here, right there. It's the meat, Jay. So
yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys caught it or not, but Brian and I were invited through the Horns Forward podcast to go out to the National Barbecue and Grilling Association event this last weekend. And man, when I tell you guys that this place was loaded with barbecue, like, no joke.
Oh,
it was loaded.
It was all open fire cooking and oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Oh, so much fun. And so Friday night was the steak night, which, there was plenty of that, but, there was a pretty nasty storm front that rolled through and really kind of, put the kibosh on us doing much there. So, we grabbed a little bit to eat, but then, probably maybe an hour.
I think we grabbed more than a little bit Friday night too.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, John was out there too. And yeah, we're still talking about it. In fact,
absolutely. I'm still full from it.
Yeah. Shout out to John's sister, who won best in category in tri-tip, and it was phenomenal. And then the next day she made some incredible shrimp and grits. You guys, obviously I'm a Packers fan, I don't know anything about grits, but John's sister made some incredible grits, and so now I'm kind of a fan. Not gonna lie. So
if you guys kind of want to see how that Saturday went for us, you go over to the Horns Forward podcast, and we were doing a bunch of live interviews, and you can progressively see throughout the day us just getting more and more stuffed.
Yeah.
Just more lethargic in the interviews, the way we were talking. Oh, it was I was like up to here with food. And those of you who have tailgated with me, I can eat.
Yeah.
So if I say I ate way too much, then I really ate way too much.
Yeah, it was bad. But it was still a lot of fun, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely blast. I will do that anytime they want me to.
Yeah. So I know we talked about the opponents and everything. With this this humongous weekend coming up right around the corner. You said you're coming back on the 31st.
No, I'll be coming back on the 30th, so I'll be good to go on the 31st.
Okay.
Well, I say good to go depending on how the week before goes. I may not like be able to drink anymore, but we'll see.
What? Like, that's not even a thing.
You know what? If it's anything like the last, trip, then, I may need to take a few days off, but
you'll be fine. Just show up and tailgate.
I probably will.
Yeah. But one extra beer isn't going to kill you. It's the 15 before that might.
Yeah. One extra case.
Yeah.
Be all right.
What are we looking to do this year to step it up for our tailgating? Because obviously, it's season 2. We know what to expect now. And realistically, this is season 3 for us because we tailgated, at all the Commanders games. So this is not new territory for us. So what are we looking to do to really step it up this year? I know of at least one thing that we're going to be doing.
Well, are we going to give away everything now? Or are we just going to tell people to show up on the 31st and find out for themselves?
Well, we definitely are going to do that. But one of the things that Brian and I are definitely going to be trying to incorporate is we're going to have a TV at our setup. So if there's, early games before ours, we're going to make sure that they're being shown so you guys can kind of, keep tabs throughout, the league and what's going on and everything like that. If we have a later game, we'll probably be doing replays because we want, we want to help people engage and stay connected and, keep abreast of everything that's going on in the league so you can watch our meteoric rise to the championship, right? Because this year it's all about the San Antonio Brahmas. There are going to be a couple of other additions also. Those I'm not going to give away. But we definitely are going to be stepping it up this year.
Oh yeah. We're going to have a nice little setup, and I forget, we're in lot C, correct?
No,
we're in B. We're in lot B.
We're in lot B.
Yeah.
So I know there's a pretty decent party over in lot C. I know Brahma Bull and Brahma Babe usually kind of start out in lot C and then work their way over to B. But there's going to be a ton of us just spread out all over the place. So make sure that, if you're in the area, stop by, find one of us. Know that you're welcome to everything that we've got, and just come and have a good time with us, right?
Oh yeah, it's just we are all one big Brahmas UFL family. So anybody who's at the tailgate, man, family can come and hang out.
Yep.
So
so I think that's pretty much it, Brian. I really don't have anything else right now. Look at this. John gets a C for effort. Oh, he just upgraded to a B.
Oh, geez.
But I'm bumped. So yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. So I think we're gonna have a little bit shorter of a show, plus with the technical difficulties, it really kind of puts a damper on the spirit. My phone is probably about to explode, but that's fine. So I think again, just enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend. Hopefully, if you're rooting for one of the two teams, your team does well. If you're playing numbers, hopefully your numbers all hit. And we'll be back at it again next Monday or next Tuesday. And
like Jay said, I mean, hope your numbers do well. Hope the team you're rooting for wins, unless the team you're rooting for is the 49ers. So, yeah.
So, all right. With that, I think we're going to go ahead and check out.
Right. Everybody, we'll see y'all next week, man. Y'all have a good week.
All right. See you guys.